Hello and welcome everybody to SoulCast episode 2. I am your host Danarai, the idiot who thought it was a good idea to do a 24-hour stream playing a fighting game. And tonight I'm joined by Ssylus.
How we doing?
And Hayate.
Hello everybody.
So, as we did with the original first podcast, essentially what we're trying to do is get to know the more prolific Soulcalibur community players. Ssylus and Hayate are two veteran Soulcalibur players, and today we're just going to learn a bit more about them. So Ssylus, if I can start with you, just give us a bit of a background about who you are and a bit about your journey.
Yeah, well, my real name's Scott Murphy, but better known as Ssylus. I live in Scotland. I grew up playing mostly PC games to start with, and then slowly shifted onto fighting games. Got a rather big family. I've got 2 brothers and a sister. I currently live with my brother, and I recently got a PC, moved on to Soulcalibur.
Sweet. And are you enjoying it much more on PC than you are on console?
Oh yeah, for sure. The PS4 lag it's definitely a thing, and it's rather annoying online because you can't really react to stuff properly.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
PC, like it feels like online feels almost like offline. It's good.
Yeah, I think that is one of the best things about PC fighting games in general, is that while it does run at 60 FPS most of the time, sometimes you'll get a few frame drops here and there, but generally it's accepted that PC is the best platform to play fighting games on. And now Hayate, a bit about you and your journey.
I'm a very I'm very old player. I mean, I'm more than 35 now. I played a lot of different games. I enjoyed PC games like Counter-Strike or MMORPG like Ion, and fighting games, of course. And I really like competitive play, just the competition in general. And I really, I fall in love with fighting games, and specifically Soulcalibur.
Okay. So were you predominantly a console player when you were younger, or did you have a PC from a very young age?
My dad bought me a computer like very, very long ago. But I started playing video games not on the computer, mostly on console. At the time, maybe it was Mega Drive. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I had my first console. It was the PlayStation 1. The Mega Drive I was playing on a friend house. And then I switched to PC maybe like 15 years ago, something like this.
Okay. Sweet. So thanks very much, both of you, for being on the podcast. We wanted to get you on for a long time. When we were talking about the podcast, you two were players that we definitely wanted to hear from because of how big your profiles are. So we all thank you. So now we're going to move on to the first segment of the podcast, which is just about the guests. So these will be the somewhat same questions that I asked Andy, Root and Baddie last time. And it's just to kind of round you two out as people rather than just players. So again, we're going to follow the format of Ssylus will answer first and then Hayate. So
Okay.
First of all, how long have you been playing video games? I know you kind of answered that in your introductions, but if you could put a specific amount of years on it, that would be much better.
Well, I've been playing games for easily over 15 years. Easily over 15. Started playing the PlayStation. I think the first game on that I played was maybe Tekken 2, I think it was.
Ooh, Tekken 2,
Absolutely
classic.
loved that game. Absolutely loved that game. King was my favourite, but I could never do the big grapple combos that you could do. I could
Yeah.
never do them, man. Never. But yeah, just mainly just PlayStation, and then PlayStation 2, and then I switched to Xbox when Call of Duty came out because my brother also played on that. But yeah, I've been playing games for a very, very long time, but I've only recently, like, well, say like the past 6 years, been into fighting games, really.
Hmm. So if you had to pick one, just to cause a bit of tension, PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
That was a very easy decision.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, PlayStation is the superior console. How about you, Hayate? How long have you been playing video games for?
I think I started when I was maybe 10 or 11. So I guess it's 25 years, something
Wow.
like this. I remember I started playing on Mega Drive, and I really like it. Street Fighter 2. And then I think I've played more about the PlayStation. A lot of games on PlayStation. A lot of different games.
Okay. And what would you say was your favorite console?
The Dreamcast.
Oh wow, coming out of left field with the Dreamcast. Okay.
Oh yeah, of course.
What was it about the Dreamcast that you love so much?
Well, it's I think it was the console who blew my mind. Like
Okay.
yeah, like the graphics was so ahead, and Soulcalibur 1.
Of course, yeah. Soulcalibur 1 and Soulcalibur 2 were on the Dreamcast, right?
Not the 2. The Soulcalibur 2 was on PlayStation. PlayStation.
It was on PlayStation,
GameCube.
Xbox. Oh, it was GameCube, of
Xbox.
course. GameCube, not Dreamcast.
Yeah,
My apologies.
yeah,
Yeah,
GameCube.
that's the one.
Yeah, the Dreamcast sadly don't last very long.
That is true. It did kind of end very early in its life cycle.
And
which is a
Shenmue, of
shame.
course.
Oh, of course, of course. Are you currently playing the third one?
I'm waiting my order to come.
Oh no.
I don't know where is my shipping, so.
Well, hopefully it arrives soon, so you're able to play it. I hear it's very good.
Yeah, but there's so much to lab actually on Soulcalibur, so it's okay.
You've got time to spend. Yeah, exactly. Sweet. So, second question. I've just asked you how long you've been playing video games, but how long specifically have you been playing fighting games for? So that could be the very first fighting game you played on the Mega Drive or on the PlayStation up until today.
So not competitively then.
Not competitively, just in general.
Yeah. I would. Tekken 2 was the first game I ever played. Like it was the first fighting game I ever played. I absolutely fell in love with it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked King. Like I can't like tell you enough like how much I absolutely fell in love with King. He was just so cool. I loved his mask, just his entrance.
Yeah, King is a very iconic Tekken character for sure. I think Tekken 3 was my kind of first foray into fighting games, and King always intrigued me.
Oh, yeah, he's such a complex character. Like in all the grabs and that was so good.
Yeah, and then
Like
no, go on, carry on.
yeah, no, like now that I know, like when I started competing in that, like all the grabs were breakable, so it was highly unlikely you could even get the grab combo.
Yeah, true, very very true. I mean, they're breakable now in Tekken 7, but if you get caught in that spin grab, you just have to mash the controller wildly and just hope you break it. So, what other games were in your repertoire leading up to Soulcalibur 6?
I never really played any other fighting games. After Tekken 2, it was more first-person shooters I played, like Counter-Strike, Source, Battlefield 2, and then it was when I seen Pharos. When I seen Pharos do a Soul Calibur 5 video on YouTube, I loved the character creation, and I was just amazed by it, and I wanted to get the game instantly.
I mean, yeah, it's drawing a lot of people in for season 2 as well. Like we're getting a few new players coming in just for the customization alone. So it's definitely always been a draw for Soulcalibur.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So is Soulcalibur 6 your latest fighting game? Like there isn't a 2D one that you're playing at the moment, or like GG 2020 is coming out.
Yeah, I cannot play 2D fighters to save myself. Like I just cannot. I just cannot do it. I don't like the fact that there's no block button that you have to hold down back for most games, and it's just like everything's so fast. I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Playing Tekken and playing Soulcalibur, while 3D games control very differently. I think I spent the first couple of weeks going back to Tekken 7 a few months ago, and I was just like, why aren't I blocking? It was because I was just trying to hold X and I was kicking instead of guarding. And how about yourself, Hayate? How long have you been playing fighting games?
Yeah, like I said, basically at the beginning of my video game experience, I played some Street Fighter 2, but I think I've played a lot Tekken 1, and I don't know if you know this game, Toshinden.
It rings a bell.
It's basically it was basically the rival of Tekken at this time on PlayStation 1, and there was some super attacks, and the character were fighting with weapons. So I guess I preferred that type of fighting game.
Oh,
and then I switched to Toshiden. And then I switched to Dead or Alive 2.
Okay. So then, what kind of, as I asked Ssylus, what other games are in your fighting game repertoire leading up to you playing Soulcalibur 6? Hayate?
Sorry.
That's okay.
So before Soulcalibur, I think the order might be Street Fighter, Tekken 2, Tekken. I don't remember if there's Tekken 3 before Dead or Alive, but I've spent a lot of time on Dead or Alive 2 and Dead or Alive 3, and then I just keep playing Soulcalibur, then only Soulcalibur. Maybe I played a little of Street Fighter 3. It was a very good, very great game. And yeah, like Ssylus, I really loved King in Tekken 2.
Yeah.
And Tekken 3. I was doing every multi grabs. And my friend, one day my friend just took my controller and throw it in my room.
We seem to have a lot of these stories of people picking up, like, I think last time somebody, like Andy Rue, mentioned that somebody had picked up Soulcalibur 4 disc and just chucked it out the window. And now one of Hayate's friends is picking up a controller and chucking it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't know how to break the grab, so he was hoping to. I mean, the only way to stop me doing the grab was to taking my controller.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, to be honest. Literally taking away a controller so someone stops playing the game. That's genuinely not a bad idea. Thank you both for that. So, now that I've asked you how long you've been playing fighting games, if you could tell us your favourite fighting games of all time. You don't have to pick one, you can have a top 3, but if you could and had to pick a top 3 or a top 5, what would they be?
It will be a fighting game. I mean, a series of fighting game, or just one fighting game?
It would be a specific fighting game, so Soulcalibur 2 or Street Fighter 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Ssylus?
Oh yeah, sorry. Probably
So-
my favorite fighting game by far is Soulcalibur 5 again. Like I never played many fighting games. It was literally just Tekken. I just liked watching other games. But definitely my favorite game has got to be Soulcalibur 5.
Okay. Somewhat of a contentious opinion. Soul Calibur 5 definitely split the player base pretty much down the middle of.
It's just because I started on it, really, to be honest. Like, I know the game was broken, like, it got like one update and then like everything was just broken about it. It was ridiculous, but I still loved the
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a legacy nostalgia love that people have for the game. But if you
game.
went back after playing Soul Calibur 6 to Soul Calibur 5, it would just feel horrible.
Oh yeah, it would. Oh yeah.
Completely disgusting. I mean, everybody had a Brave Edge, which was probably the best thing about it, in my opinion. But everything else just.
Guards, but they were the single best thing about Soul Calibur 5. You could just guard any move. You could just guard the first hit of an 8-8 and then duck the second hit and punish with critical edge. It was ridiculous.
all of these contentious opinions, Ssylus. Loads of people hated Just Guard as well.
I was really good at it.
Well, it's good to see that you're also playing a contentious character in Soul Calibur 6, so it just fits your fits your personality well. And how about you, Hayate? Your favorite fighting game or games of all time?
Soul Calibur 2.
Yes, agreed.
Like yeah, he's very very high in my list.
Yeah. So is it just like Soul Calibur 2 doesn't really... There's no top, or there's no second and no third. It's like Soul Calibur 2 is the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And then there's like other games below that.
I would say maybe just Soul Calibur 2, and if I had to put another game, it would be Dead or Alive 2 because of the stage interaction.
Oh yeah, definitely because of the stage interaction.
Yeah, because the first, it was my first fighting game where I can break walls, change stage, etc. And I really loved that. But Soul Calibur 2, it was how I can say that when you are playing Soul Calibur 2, it's like you're expressing everything. You have a lot of cancel moves. You have a lot of soul charge cancel. You can move freely. You have ton of bugs that doesn't really, I mean, break the game. It was very 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 nice.
Cool. So I think Soul Calibur 2 is pretty much everybody's most beloved Soul Calibur of the genre, or of the series rather. It was a lot of people's first Soul Calibur game as well, because it was like the most sold Soul Calibur fighting game ever. And you can't really blame people, to be honest. It was such a great game.
Yeah.
So again, thank you both. So now we're going to get even more specific, and I'm going to ask you who is your favorite, fighting game character of all time?
I would say Hilda, to be honest.
Hilda. Okay.
Yeah, Hilda, especially Soul Calibur 5 Hilda. Because like you could get mad damage off of her charge combos if you could do it right, if you got the timing right. And the fact that she had one of the best mid-step catchers in the game, it was charge 2A and it was safe on block. And on normal hit and counter hit, you used to be able to combo into 2A plus B or critical edge for massive damage. And just because of the fact that you could mess about with the charges and do what you wanted, really, she played so differently that I just still, and she's looking really strong in this game.
So do you think you will maybe put Raph on a back burner for a couple of weeks while you try out Hilda, or will you just continue to mess with the vampire?
I don't know. I don't know. I've not decided yet. I've been messing about with Hilda. I've got like most of her combos and that, but I don't know. I'll probably just stick with Raph, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see you play a bit of Hilda, because she was one of my not mains, because we all know I don't have one, but one of the characters that I played the most in 4 and 5. So if there are other Hilda players that I can learn stuff from, I'll be so on board with just doing mirror matches for hours and just learning how to lab her.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And how about you, Hayate? Your favorite fighting game character of all time?
Not an easy question because I have two. But I guess I will go for Huang. Because when I started playing Soulcalibur games, it was a time where I was also asking me a lot of stuff in my life, etc. And I remember when I played Huang story mode in Soulblade. Yeah, I don't know, but I really liked the sense of justice. The character who tried to push forward in one direction with a lot of persistence and learn that it's a wrong way, and then learn something and change his mind. And yeah, I think it's more about the story because I wasn't playing competitively at this time, and I really liked the character. And then yeah, I guess I fall in love with his personality.
Okay, I would say that's reasonable. He's kind of your archetypal hero of the story.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And how about the second character? Because that's interesting. From just seeing your tweets and how much you want Huang, I think it was in your Twitter bio or your Twitter name that you just wanted him. So it's interesting that you have a second favorite character, and I'm interested to know who that is.
Oh yeah, of course. My second character is pretty easy to know. It's in my name, so it's Hayate. It's also a fighting game character that I was playing in Dead or Alive 2 and Dead or Alive 3 and basically every Dead or Alive. And again, I really liked more the gameplay of Hayate, like a lot of teleporting attacks, a lot of stylish, flashy moves. Usually, I not only play to absolutely win a match. When I was very young, when I started competitively Soulcalibur, I wasn't really choosing my character to win, more about trying to show people some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I like characters who do flashy moves, basically.
I would totally agree with you there.
Does.
So yeah, in regards to flashy moves, I kind of feel like Soulcalibur is a bit more reserved in that sense. Like we have Soul Charge and we have CEs, but there are only a few characters that really push the boundaries of incredible particle effects and just crazy move effects in general.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't think the flashy needs to be a particle effect or something like this. For me, flashy can be also something cool, like how can I say that? Like fainting, like something that I really like it in Soulcalibur games is you can G cancel most of your attack.
Sure.
And I mean, you can G cancel A, B, and K. But in Soulcalibur 2, you could G cancel even more attacks. And I think it's a way to play, maybe not flashy, but impressively. Like you're just showing. It's like dancing in a game. Like you're fainting and you're going under enemy's attack, etc. It's more about this for me. And I guess Soulcalibur has a lot of this, so it's okay for me.
That is true. There's a fair bit of feinting and a bit of stance transitions from moves, especially for characters like Mitsurugi, who's got like 6-6 AAG, where he can feint into mist.
Yeah.
And he's now got 4A plus B. Yeah, exactly. Completely mind games. Perfect. Thank you very much. So now we're going to dive right into the question that I want to know from everybody: what your favorite video game of all time is. And it's a difficult question for a lot of people, because if you've been gaming for more than 5 years, you've probably got loads that have made an impact on you, and I know I have. But Ssylus, your favorite video game of all time?
If I had to pick a favourite, it would probably be Battlefield 2 on PC. This is early 2000s, this old game called Battlefield 2. I played this game until its death. It was a first-person shooter, conquest, like capture the flag kind of thing. And I just loved the game so much. I played it for like 6 years straight, every single day, up at 5 a.m, sneaking down the stairs to go on the PC just to play this game.
Yeah, I know that feel. So Battlefield 2 would be, if you had to only play one game and it had to be your favorite, it would be Battlefield 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I would have expected a fighting game, to be honest, but the fact that you said an FPS is very interesting. How about you, Hayate? Your favorite video game of all time?
It would be Free Space 2. I don't know if people knows it. Maybe
I don't
no.
remember at all.
It's a game released in maybe 99, something like this, on PC. It's a space opera game. So you're basically playing a fighter, and you're exploring galaxies and fighting for the human race versus aliens, etc. And the story of this game is very, very good. And I really hope people, if you didn't play this game, I really recommend you to play this. There are some mods to upgrade the graphics, and I won't spoil the ending of the game because it's very, very good. But it's like there is like a philosophy behind the game about the universe, the human race, etc. And I think that's my best game overall. And I hope one day they will do Free Space 3. But I don't know. I'm still waiting.
You hope so. You're still waiting for Shenmue 3 to arrive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was it, when you say you were fighting for the human race and it was a space opera kind of thing, were you actually piloting spaceships and getting into dogfights and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's I really like. I'm also a big fan of dogfighting game like Ace Combat, Macross. Everything when you can pilot a fighter. I really like those games.
Yeah, I would heavily agree on the Ace Combat side of things. I really enjoyed playing it on the PlayStation 2 era. I thought those were some amazing games for the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Again, I am somewhat surprised that they aren't fighting games even in the slightest, because as we all know you as fighting game players and fighting game veterans, especially competitive fighting games. But as these podcasts are meant to shine a light on that, you definitely aren't just fighting game players, which is good. We want to round you out as people, and we are definitely doing that today. So now we just kind of take a small step back and go back to fighting games. If you could have any character in a fighting game, who would it be? So you can pull from any character from any game. Doesn't have to necessarily be a fighting game. You could pick the main character from Driver to be in Soulcalibur 6 if you wanted. Go wild, like your wildest imagination fighting game character.
Oh, I would say Auron from Final Fantasy X. Like, I've always
Ooh.
wondered what he would be like in a fighting game.
Yeah, Auron is a
Like,
good pick.
Could you imagine some of the stuff he'd be able to do, man? Like, they could add in, like, each overdrive, it could be, like, soul charge attacks. Like, it would be fantastic.
That would be sick.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so was that, like, if it was only one character, it would definitely be Auron, or did you have any others?
No others. Definitely Auron.
Definitely just Auron.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Auron is a very good pick. I think he would suit the aesthetic very, very well.
Oh yeah.
And Hayate, how about you?
I will try to go the wildest possible.
Please do.
So, since there is some magic in Soulcalibur 6,
I like
with
where this
Geralt,
is going. Yeah.
and with Aswell, and etc. I really want to have a very strong magical character, even psychedelic character. So I will go for Tassadar in StarCraft.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will be top tier.
If he's anything like Aswell, he'll be top tier day one. Okay, so what is it about that character? Just the whole magical background to the character?
You mean Tassadar?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I really like also the character because I'm a big fan of StarCraft. And he was in, I think he basically is a character in StarCraft 1. He's basically the guy who saves the universe. But his power is so strong. Like he can, he has a lot of psycho. I don't know how you say that in English.
So kind of powers that use the mind.
Yeah, and he can also move objects from distance.
Oh, telekinesis. I think.
Yeah,
is what it's called,
telekinesis. And he can basically use his mind to create storms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his magic power is very, very heavy, and he has a very strong of justice. Yeah, and he basically, he's a very, very badass character.
I can kind of see a theme with the characters that you like, Hayate. You've got Huang, the kind of archetypal hero character with a strong sense of justice, and now this other character who's got a strong sense of justice.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely playing the same characters.
I mean, as long as you enjoy playing them, right? As long as you enjoy playing them.
Yeah, of course.
Personally, I know that this question is to you guys, but I kind of like answering this question myself. Is any of the demon bros from Devil May Cry? So Dante, Nero, or Virgil? I think they would fit so well in a Soulcalibur universe. But yeah, unfortunately, I think Devil May Cry is now dead and buried. I think Itsuno has moved on to other projects. Hopefully Dragon's Dogma, but who knows? But yeah, I personally think any of the three demon bros would work really well. And finally, the last question that we're going to ask you just to round you out before we move on to our second segment is, which game was your very first game? I think we have kind of covered this again, but if we could just go over it again. Which was your very first game that you played, Ssylus?
Tekken 2. It was the very first game I ever played.
Yeah.
My brother introduced me to it. He asked me if I wanted a shot. He gave me King, played it, fell in love with it. I just love King, man. What can I say?
Can't blame you on that one.
Do you still play King on Tekken 7?
I don't play Tekken 7 actually.
That's a shame.
I would love to do a mirror match with you.
Oh my god, yes. Set it up. Batty, can we do that? Can we get these two doing a first to 10 king on king in Tekken 7? I think that would be incredible. Okay. And Hayate, how about you?
What was the question? The
first game you ever played.
The first game I have ever played, not Soulcalibur, so the first game.
Yeah, the first ever game.
Can't really remember. I might
even if it's just the first one that you can remember.
Okay. The first one I remember, I think it's Street of Rage.
Ooh, that's a good first game.
Yeah, on Mega Drive.
Okay. Do you still play Streets? Do you still go back and play Streets of Rage? Because I know there are kind of remasters and stuff like that.
No, not anymore. But yeah, this game was so fun at that time.
Oh,
I mean, when you discover video games, it's like magic. I really hope one day I will forget everything and restart video games.
Maybe when we're all old and we've all got dementia, we'll all just rediscover Soulcalibur.
Okay.
That'd be great. So just to kind of reiterate what I mean about Dead and Buried is that Itsuno and the dev team for Devil May Cry 5 have just said that they're not working on it anymore, and that Itsuno is now working on a different project. So, like, Devil May Cry 5 is still around, the franchise will never die, but as far as I'm aware, we're not even getting a Virgil DLC for, like, Bloody Palace and getting a new story. That's just what I've read on the internet and what has been reported, so I hope it's not true, but who knows? I mean, Devil May Cry 5 was an amazing game, and the Devil May Cry franchise in general was personally one of a very child... what's the word I'm looking for? It's the games that I kind of played growing up, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they can make a lot of money with this franchise, so...
You'd hope that they would continue it. But also, Dragon's Dogma is one of the best games Capcom has ever made, and Itsuno was the lead on that. And I'm waiting for a Dragon's Dogma 2, to be honest. And Baddy, yes, on a Soulcalibur channel, because it's two Soulcalibur players playing Tekken in a mirror match of King. Who wouldn't want to see that? That would be great. I think we definitely need to make it happen. Even if I have to make the channel myself, I'll make it happen. I think that would be incredible to watch. So, thank you both for answering those questions. Some great insights as to you two as people as well as players. But now I want to move on to more Soulcalibur focused conversation. So on the last podcast, we went over the Season 2 patch notes with Baddy and Andy. Just kind of reflecting on what was changed, some of the buffs and the nerfs that we were going to get in Season 2, specifically for Taki and Zas, because that's who those characters play. But now, since we've had Season 2 for a few days, I wanted to get your take on how your characters have changed, where you think they fit within the tier list now. And once again, these will be personal opinions on characters that they play. We're not going to make a tier list and say Aswell's now bottom 2. This will be just personal opinions on what these character loyalists think of their characters. So, first of all, Ssylus, if I can go to you, I'm going to ask you the first question. What has changed about your character?
Well, Raphael got buffed for the most part, honestly. He got a buff on his BB, which is great because what I discovered today was his front grab into the wall. You could sometimes combo it into BBB, I prep, BBB, and it would all combo for like 115 damage.
Mm-hmm.
But it used to be inconsistent in Season 1 because like sometimes they would drop and you'd have to sacrifice a bit of damage and just go for 4A plus DA. And it wasn't even good okay either. But in Season 2, they've made it track, they've made the hitbox bigger and they've made the tracking better, so it is incredibly consistent on the front grab wall splat now, so it'll always combo.
Yeah, I think it's currently on your Twitter, right? I think that's the thing you posted recently.
Yeah, I just realised it today. Yeah, it was actually today I just realised it, because I was doing it in training, just messing about, and I done it like 3 times, and I got it consistently. I'm like, what's going on here? why is this working? And then I tried it at all different angles and half walls and other characters, and it's consistent. It works every single time.
Yeah, so if you want to go and see how much more annoying Raph is going to be at the wall, head over to Ssylus' Twitter and you'll be able to see the clip of him doing that.
Yeah, he also got a hitbox and tracking buff on 1K, 8A plus B, Quick Parade A, and Shadow Evade K, which are decent. Like 1K was really stubby. It used to whiff randomly as well. They beefed the hitbox up on that, so that's decent. He's 8A plus B. That's it's got a built-in auto GI for, I think it's horizontal attacks, but the GI is really, really small window. And it used to whiff on GI, like you would GI someone and then like the second hit would whiff and you would get nothing off it. Sometimes when they blocked the first hit, the second hit would just whiff, so they've fixed the hitbox on that so that it will always connect.
Okay. Anything that you kind of dislike about the changes of your character?
I would say he's critical edge, but it's not that much yet. It's not that much yet a nerf, to be honest. You can Ukemi after it on hit, so you don't have to deal with the 50-50 at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that's probably the worst one he got, to be honest.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like, in your opinion, that there was much that he got that really nerfed him.
Yeah, nothing really, no. But we've still got some problems with like Shadow Evade K. Usually that whiffs in the corner or against a wall, like it would just randomly whiff no matter how close you were. And like they were supposed to have fixed it in this season, but it's still happening. So
Okay, well, hopefully we'll see more of those fixes down the line, since we do have a season 2, and hopefully they're still working on stuff, because we did see that big post from Okubo on Twitter about all of the bugs.
I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, it was a big post on Twitter about all the bugs that had been reported and found, and they're now hopefully working really hard on getting them fixed as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I hope they sort it fast. Like they've broke Raphael's reversal edge. They've broke it. Like why? Like the normal one, like outside the prep, like all you have to do is absorb an attack, and then if they block the reversal edge, you just cancel it into Area and Gambit B, and it combos every single time. Nothing they can do.
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous. But the trick to that is just let the reversal edge hit you. Just take the mini game.
Just let it happen.
Just take the hit. Do not block reversal edge outside the prep.
Yeah. I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah,
just
he
let
got
the RPS
a
happen.
jailing buff as well on a few of his moves, like 6AA. That got that now jails. It's still unsafe though. It's -12, but at least it jails now.
Yeah, exactly.
And Soul Charge Prep BD A plus B now, that like 1000 stab thing that he does.
Oh yes, I think I was fighting a Raph the other day, and I was like, "You can't GI this anymore."
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. It was already good. I mean, even when they did GI it, you were only level 1, so you were only at -8, so it was alright anyway.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Hayate? I think we've kind of just flipped the format of this question. So, the good changes about your character so far.
So for Kilik, I guess they tried to resolve some problem on his soul charge mechanic, because the Kilik soul charge was very hard to balance because of his life decay. So they tried to give more opportunity if something goes very wrong. Now
One second, Hayate. Thank you very much for Tarakaka for the raid of 8 people. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay. Sorry, Hayate. Please carry on.
Yeah. So they gift a new letterlet on his new moves, which is 6/6 B slide. Basically, if you use his Soul Balm, which is his heal, when you stop the soul charge and heal yourself.
Yeah.
Now you have access to a new letterlet right after with the 6/6 KB. And the 6-6 KB is a very, very strong move. It's I-18, good range, +2 on block, and 70 damage on combo. So it's a very, very strong attack. And you have a Lethal Hit now if you just end your Soul Charge with the heal. So the loop is better working now. Like if somebody tried to really abuse Killik life decay by staying very far away, making you lose a lot of life, you can Soul Balm, restore some of very small portion of life, and have access to this Lethal Hit, which is very good.
Okay.
So I really like it, this change. And the other big change for his Soul Charge game is his new 2B plus K, which is a projectile from the ground. It's very...
Is that a projectile in Soul Charge?
Yeah.
I had no idea he had that.
What's the frames like on that?
What's it? Sorry?
Like, what are the frames on that? How fast is it?
It's not very fast, like it's but it's fast enough. Like it's maybe I-24, if I guess correctly.
Not bad for a projectile, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But it's doing a lot of damage on. It's doing a lot of cheap damage. It's doing a lot of damage in general. Like some of Killik's combo are now better to end with this move. But the best thing about this move, in my opinion, is that now, even if Killik has still his weakness about gap closing, like when you are far away, you don't have really fast and very crushing attacks to just go in. You have this option now to punish something who is trying to zone you. And so it's very strong. Now you have a really, really intimidating option to punish a whiff from very far away.
Okay, that's pretty good. Is it, just to ask Baddy's question, is it the one where he shoots the energy out of the ground? Is it the pillars thing?
Yeah, it's a pillar.
It's that one. Okay, I thought he had a different like low projectile that I had no idea about.
No, it's this one. It's just for me. It's a projectile.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Is there anything else good about the changes to your character so far?
Actually, there are a lot. But these two might be the most important. Mm-hmm. There are other like small changes to try to resolve some holes. Like his stance, monument stance, was really not really good walking when people knows how to deal about. Like you just have to step and crouch. Now you have an option to counter step, but it's a high attack. So now you have a real guessing between high and stepping, and some things that people might not really understand about Killik's weaknesses. One of Killik's big weaknesses was his pushbacks, because when he goes in Soul Charge, most of his very strong tools like Wire Rising B, BB, 8A plus B, 4KB when you want to be safe, etc. All of these moves, pushbacks on hits and on block. And this is very, very counterproductive when you're in Soul Charge. So when you go in Soul Charge, you cannot use these moves anymore. And of course 6-6B, which is basically his best move to make people respect your mix-up. This move does also a lot of pushback, and every pushback just creates auto-punishment because you lose life right after because you're in Soul Charge. Sure. So to resolve that, they added the move, which is 8-8B plus K. It's not easy to do, so you probably have to do it when you have an opening and you dash in, you do 6-6, and then you do 8 wear and buffering, you switch to 8. But this move is very great in Soul Charge because there is no pushback on it. And there is no pushback on hit and no pushback on block. And it's I-16, it's doing 40 damage. And you have some kind of mix up, like you can cancel at the half of the move, trying to go in monument or back parry. So for me, this move will solve one problem in Soul Charge, which is when you get an opening and people just mash something to try to not get mixed up by the throw. Now you have a fast option that will let you close to the opponent and not push back again.
So those sound like pretty damn good options now for Killick in Soul Charge. Because like you're saying, he had a lot of pushback on some of the stuff that he had, which is completely counterproductive to what you want to do as Killick in Soul Charge. So it's good that they have fixed some of those holes.
Yeah, but when he's in normal mode, all of these pushbacks are very important. Like while Rising Bee is his best move in some matchups, like Taki, every character that wants to keep close, Killick is very, very good in those matchups because of those pushbacks. So I guess now he's very, very good in he's buffed in Soul Charge. He's buffed in Soul Charge because he got nerfed. He lose some damage in his critical edge. He got some nerf in Soul Charge, but in exchange, his Soul Charge is working better, and there is less way to abuse his life decay. Mm-hmm. There is still some way because he still have two big weaknesses, which is Okizime and the gap closing. But now he has some counterplays. Like he has this projectile, and for Okizime, he has also this projectile who's doing great because you have good Okizime right after.
Okay, sweet. So it does sound like some of the holes, like you're saying, have been filled with these changes. So then if we can move on to the downsides, I guess, of the changes for Killick, if there even are any. What do you think, Hayate?
The downside, they nerfed the critical edge damage. So even if they didn't nerf it a lot, like I think we are losing something like less than 10 damage, maybe.
Okay, that's not a lot in like the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's okay. But now you're forced to, like in some combos, you're hesitating before you're hesitating in staying in Soul Charge or ending it with critical edge because the new move, the projectile, doing so much damage. So sometimes it's better to end the combo with this than the critical edge. So I guess the downside is now you have to play even more riskier because it pushes you to stay in Soul Charge. But since the Soul Charge is better, maybe it's not really a nerf. I don't know. In the other nerfs, we have the 4-4K, which was his best mid attack. Mm-hmm. It was -4 on block, and now it's -8. But since it's still safe, I guess it's okay. It just you cannot try something crazy right after now. You really have to respect your opponent's turn. And the last nerf is Soul Charge 3AB, which is his move he does in his big wall combo. So now the damage is also nerfed. So he does a lot of less damage on wall combos. But since he has new moves, he can compensate. So I really think Killick didn't get a lot of nerf in that patch.
Mm-hmm.
He mostly get buffed, and his Soul Charge is working way better now.
Okay, so overall you're pretty happy with the changes for your character.
Yes, for sure. Like the only thing I'm not happy is they didn't really try to solve that gap closing problem. Even if they gift a projectile, Kilik is still very like in Soul Charge. They have to fix the hitbox of 66B plus K because 66B plus K is his gap closing attack with a very linear attack, but it's I-20 and he's going straight forward and he's going in. The problem is the first hit of that move, because it's a multi-hit, the first hit, the hitbox is very small and it generally whiffs versus somebody who is trying to zone you. And then the second hit comes out. But the problem is the second hit is very late. And I cannot use this move to gap close. It's too risky. I hope they will fix that, because I guess the design is that Kilik in Soul Charge has new tools to attack. And actually, he doesn't really have new tool to attack from a far distance. He can just throw a projectile, but if you just stay in guard, he will throw a projectile and he will still keep losing his life. So yeah, that's the only thing I guess they might maybe change in the future. But the rest is okay for me. Kilik is a very well-rounded character, more defensively character, and in Soul Charge he goes crazy in offense. But yeah, that's all.
Okay, perfect. So it seems like you're both somewhat happy with what you've been given in Season 2. I know Ssylus was saying that he wanted some changes, basically just some bug fixes about stuff whiffing at walls, but that's more of a, they're bug fixes rather than just character balances and behavior adjustments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, moving on to the next question. The new mechanic, or mechanics, I guess, in Season 2, so that refers to resist impact, and RE not going into RPS on block. How have they affected your character? Like, do you want to start throwing more out because they benefit you because you get more bar because you're better in Soul Charge, or your CE's better, or is it a nerf to your character? Like, do you have an unblockable setup that didn't get taken away? Hashtag pray for baddie. That you can now RI stuff for. So yeah, Ssylus, give me what you got.
Well, to be honest, the new GI that attack that does unblockables and gap breaks, it doesn't really matter to Raph because he doesn't really need it, because he's always had B plus K and 2B plus K, and they already evade all attacks in the game. So it's a bit pointless for Raph. I mean, yeah, it gives a bit of guard damage back, but for against Raph, it's going to be really, really tricky because most of Raphael's Soul Charge moves are guard break moves, and you can only GI. You can't really step out of most of them. Some of them you can, but with people having access to RI, it's going to shut down a lot of his kind of wall pressure when he gets you close to a wall. Like, it's not going to be as many guard break attacks getting through out and that kind of thing. As for reversal edge, like as I said, they've broke his reversal edge outside of prep. But in prep, they've changed his RE completely. It's much easier to avoid, but it's a guard break attack now, a vertical guard break, and it combos into 2A plus B, 3B, or 4A plus BA, and it's plus 4 on block. But as I said, it's much, much easier to avoid. So the RE changes to Raph inside prep is a little nerf to me, because no more tracking on reversal edge.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I was having serious problems with reversal edge. Like, it was tracking everybody. It was murder. Like, people were stepping and they were continuously stepping, and it was still tracking them.
Oh no, I remember very well.
It's a relief in a way.
Oh, for sure. I think it's a relief for everybody who wasn't in love with that mechanic.
Yeah,
anything else in terms of new mechanics? Like, we only really got RI and the new reversal edge activation, I guess.
Yeah.
But any other mechanics that your character specifically got? I don't think so in terms of Wrath, right?
He's not really got, like, he's got access to a guard break attack inside the prep, so we can really shut down people trying to reversal edge or GI out of prep. He's got an easier ring out to the right with prep AK. It's a double kick. The kick's jail on block if you block the first hit. But it's -12, so it balances out really. And you have to be very, very close to the ring edge for it to ring out. Personally, I would rather just do prep AB and then delayed prep BK, and then it still rings out to the right, but it goes further than prep AK, so it's not really that useful.
I guess so. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And how about you, Hayate? How was RI and the new RE affected Kilik, if at all?
So I will start with the Soul Attack.
Oh yeah, Soul Attack. I completely forgot that was a thing. Apologies. Like, I rarely use it, and I need to use it more. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's still new to me. Still new to me. I forgot.
So yeah, thank you for reminding me, Hayate, and do carry on.
Yeah, I think the Soul Attack is the most important new mechanic for Kilik because of the way Soul Charge works. Before that, when he goes in Soul Charge, you really have to set up it to not lose a lot of life when you're activating it, because if you push back your opponent, and then you're in the same problem, you know? So now you have the Soul Attack, which is very great because most of his combos can combo with Soul Attack. And depending on the combos, I was thinking that it might be broken when I first try it, but actually they properly balanced that, because in most of Kilik combos, if you end with the Soul Attack, you will go in Soul Charge, but your advantage will be very small, like just +1. So I don't know, maybe +1 is just enough to try to mix things. But since he doesn't have access to 8/8 B plus K directly neutral, he will have to force 6/6 B, and then if you block it, you will get pushback, so it will be okay. But in some combos, he will be at +3, and it's way better, +3, +4. And at this moment, you might want to respect him, and if you do that, he will be able to throw you with his very, very, very powerful throw attack and Soul Charge. So now, basically, because of the Soul Attack, Kilik Soul Charge is way better functioning. Every time he has a bar and he do a combo and he activates Soul Attack, he basically have access to a mix-up between throw, respecting a button by doing 6/6B, and it's very strong. So I guess it's really impacting. It's really buffing his game for sure. Again.
Okay, so Soul Attack has really changed the way that Kilik goes into Soul Charge now. Especially, like you're saying, in some combos he's now +3, +4.
He's mostly +1. And in very few combos, but he has to sacrifice a lot of combo damage to be in +3. Like he has to do like something like Wild Rising B and directly going to Soul Attack without doing any combos to be in sufficient advantage.
Okay, that's interesting.
In the other mechanics, I would say the resist impact is kind of weird, because now one of the big strengths of the Kilik Soul Charge was using his unblockable critical edge. So now you can parry it with the resist impact, and we are just finding some new ways to parry it. So basically, when Kilik will do guard impact, it won't be guaranteed anymore, and it's better versus Kilik because other characters you will either block or just be at +8, because most resist impact on break attacks will give you +8 advantage. Versus Kilik, you will not get hit by his critical edge, which is very important.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but the weird part is that in exchange, Kilik is the only character in the game with an infinite soul charge. Because
again, 1 second, Hayate. We've just had a raid from the SC6 Russia community for 15 viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy your stay. Once again, apologies for the interruption, Hayate, but do carry on.
No problem. So yeah, Kilik is the only character with an infinite soul charge, because basically his soul charge is not depleting, it's his life which is depleting, and his soul charge will stop when he has no more life left. The weird part is that now he is the only character who can abuse resist impact. Like when he's in soul charge, he's losing life, but he can do resist impact like every time.
But basically for free.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, that's nuts.
So
that would be good.
Yeah, so I don't know how it will impact his game, but resist impact for me seems not very, very good, because it's still a timing, and it's good only versus setups where you can't not do anything before. So I don't know. But in any case, this mechanic will impact a lot his game. And the last one is reversal edge.
Yes, the reversal edge, where it no longer goes into the rock, paper, scissors on block.
Yeah, and this one will not affect a lot Kilik, because his reversal edge was not very fast. It was okay. And his reversal edge options were not good. They are not bad, but they are not good. Like reversal edge kick is one of the maybe worst reversal edge kick in the game. It's doing like 10 damage.
At least it's got a guard break attack, but
yeah, there is a guard break attack. Yeah, true. But yeah, other options are not. It's okay. They're not bad, but it's not that good. But the good thing is more about the reversal edge gets buffed on meta gain.
Yes,
and,
that's true.
Yeah, and something that people forget about is that some characters in the game, like Kilik, has some attacks which lets them go in reversal edge. Even if their reversal edge is not very good, there are some attacks which combos with their reversal edge. Kilik can do that by doing a guard impact into 4B lethal hit. When he does this, if you press again B, he has access to 4BB, which is her reversal edge combo. So with the meta gain, maybe it's a good way to build meta with Kilik. Like instead of going for the lethal hit 50 damage after a post GI, you will go for the reversal edge. So you will win maybe like 70% of meta, which is a lot. So that's only, about the reversal edge, I guess that's the only thing that impact Kilik.
Okay. So yeah, it seems like the new mechanics are helpful, but they're also very situational. Like you can't just start throwing out reversal edges and hoping that they get blocked, or hoping that you're going to land one so that you go into a rock, paper, scissors situation. Like they're very situational. Like I actually don't know the answer to this question, so I'm putting it to everyone. If you get a soul attack blocked, are you safe, or is it specific to each character? Because I think it might be specific.
Yeah,
because I know Siegfried is definitely safe.
Six is safe, yeah. Siegfried is safe.
The soul attack seems to be very different with some characters. There are some soul attacks which can combo because they are hitting on the ground or in the air, etc. Generally, they let you very small advantage, and if they get blocked, they are very small disadvantage, or maybe +0. And there are other soul attacks that are not designed to be used in combos, but more in neutral, like Maxi.
Yeah, for whiff punishing and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it lets you. The good part is that the soul attack will have a very good range, so you can enter in soul charge after a whiff, basically. So it really depends on the character. Some characters have very plus attacks. Some characters has barely positive situation. Something that I thought is when you use a stance, and some character can have access to stance after a soul attack or in a stance. And
like Raphael. Raphael says that. I can go into Shadow Evade.
Yeah, and when you do that, generally you have huge advantage. That's what I saw.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Like your +10 or something like this. It lets you mix up in your stance.
Yeah,
which I think is a good thing, especially if it's on hit, because obviously you're making the opponent guess after you've just whiff punished or block punished with a soul attack.
Yeah, I was talking on hit. Yeah. On block, it's generally soul attack seems to be balanced. So on block, it's +0 or -2. That's what I've seen.
Okay, so yeah, it seems pretty balanced for the most part. I mean, apart from the fact that some soul attacks just straight up whiff. I know there's been some situations where I've tried to do it on Grow, and it seems like the hitbox of his soul attack is at the top of the weapon and not at the bottom. So it will literally just go straight through the opponent. And I don't know what that's about. It might be a hitbox problem, it might be a positioning problem.
Well.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Times as well.
Yeah, the amount of new moves they did in Season 2 is very impressive, and they probably need to work on hitbox and hitbox issues extra, because there are very old Soulcalibur moves that were reused, but now we have tons of new animations. So yeah, they might need 1 month to correct all those things.
Yeah, just to make sure the hitboxes hit when they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. That actually brings me nicely to my next question, which is how have the new moves affected your character?
Well, they've definitely gave Raph more options in prep. They make people way more terrified of prep stuff, because he's got prep AK, he's got prep A+B, and he's got quick parade, which auto GIs mid.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and it can make you hurt for doing a mid while he's in prep. And he's also got one for lows, which he's had previous to Season 2, obviously, Area Gambit. But it's definitely a buff for the most part. They've once they fix Reversal Edge from being like broken in the way it is, Raph's actually got a cancel. Once you block Reversal Edge, you can do Behold, and that used to be like before Season 2. That was like +14 on hit, so you could literally just normal hit them, prep B cancel, and then you could just go into prep critical edge for 80 damage. But they've fixed that so that it only does that on counter hit. So hopefully that comes into play soon once they fix his Reversal Edge.
Hopefully, yeah. Fingers crossed. Anything else about the new Wrath stuff that particularly you feel either buffs or nerfs your character?
The low that he's got, the 3A+B, it's basically just the second hit of Soul Charge 1KB. It's such a long range move. It's really, really linear, but it's a really long range move, and it knocks down on counter hit and can ring out from a decent distance. It's definitely. I think, to be honest, I prefer using it as like a combo ender, because it's you need to know that they're not going to move at all if you're going to throw it out, because it's easily stepped.
Yeah. I mean, the The new kicks that Raf got from... they're both from prep, aren't they? The low high and the high low.
Oh yeah, quick parade K. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. It's a new lethal hit as well. It's an unseeable low. Yeah, it's an unseeable low. It combos into 2A plus B or 3B or 1. In the lethal hit condition, I have to use my spiral evade. I think it's called the B plus K move that avoids all attacks.
Yeah.
I need to avoid an attack 3 times, and then it becomes active. It becomes a lethal hit.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly say that's a hard condition to meet.
Oh, it's not. It's easy in some matchups. It's so easy in some matchups. Like it counts if a B plus K hold a multi-hit combo or a multi-hit move. Like when I dodge the 3 moves, that's it. That's me got the lethal hits. So I don't have to do like 3 individual B plus Ks. I can just hold it for certain strings.
Yeah, it seems pretty damn good. Anything else about your character? The new moves? Or have we covered everything so far? I actually don't know much about Raf's new moves, so...
Well, yeah, we've covered mostly everything, I'd say. Yeah, 3A plus B, and mostly just his prep moves. Then his quick parade K. The other change he got was quick parade A. What happened with that in season 1? That used to knock down on normal hit. Used to stun and knock down, and you could combo into 2A plus B.
That's the low, right?
Yeah, that's the low. Yeah. It used to whiff a lot because like it was a horizontal, but it was really a vertical because you could easily step it. But they fixed that in season 2. But it's kind of been buffed and nerfed at the same time because it doesn't knock down on normal hit anymore. But it is still +4, I think it is, on hit, which is decent.
That's really good. +4 on hit, hell yeah. Sweet. And how about you, Hayate, the new Killick moves? I played around with them a little bit because I somewhat dabble in Killick, and they seemed really, really fun, but I'm not sure how viable they are outside of very specific conditions, so...
Yeah.
Shed some light on them.
Yeah, for sure, there are some questionable moves, like they added a move which really like 4-4A. The command is 8-8A plus B. It's 2 horizontal attack. One is high and the second is low. It's basically like his 4-4A. The difference is the range is shorter. You cannot jump over the second attack if you block the first, so it jails. But the problem is it's pretty slow. It's a little unsafe. You have to go in 8 round to have access to it. I really don't see exactly the point actually of using this move, but generally I know that I will figure it out. Maybe a situation where I can use this, but it's not very good. There is also the While Rising B plus K in Soul Charge. When I first saw that, it's a new 2 kick, which is very fast in Soul Charge. It's I-14 attack. When I saw this, I was very hyped because it will help Killick punish from crouching when he's in Soul Charge, and when the opponent finish in take crouch, because you can't really use your critical edge, which is a high attack in Soul Charge. So this move my first impression was it might be very good, but actually the range is not very good, and I've saw a lot of situations where it won't hit, even at -14. So I don't know for this one. It will probably help maybe more in frame trapping. I don't know. There is 2 other new moves that I want to talk about. Is the first move I talk about in my first when you asked me first the question, the 8-8B plus K, which is his new fast forward movement attack, which don't let pushback extra. This move is great, but the variation of this move seems not viable. Like when you cancel it in Monument or you cancel it in back parry stance, people can react to that and just mash 2A. The only way to make it work is to first hit with 8-8B plus K. So on hit, sometimes it's kind of hard to react to the stance and mash 2A. But other than that, it might not be very viable, especially because the risk reward is not that good. Like, you're canceling your move, doing 20 less damage, and they can buffer 8-way run and they will sidestep. You cannot do anything about this.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not very good. But the move itself, without the variation, I guess it's okay. And the last move will be Monument 4B, which is a new move in his stance when he does the auto GI, the horizontal auto GI. The Monument 4B is an old move. Basically, he jumps back and he hits low. It knockdowns. But this move might be one of his best additions in the game.
Oh wow, really?
But I'm not sure because I'm still researching about his auto GI game, and this move is solving. It seems to solve some problem with some characters because basically it's safe to reversal edge versus a lot of characters, because if you try to reversal edge that move, like you get auto GI'd by Killik Monument,
sure,
and you press reversal edge to try to reversal edge his lethal hit, because if you don't, he will have access to lethal hit. So if you do that, and if he does Monument 4B, he will jump back and he will basically get out of here. So you won't be able to reach him with your reversal edge. So it's safe to reversal edge. But the best thing is that if you try to do Guard Impact, and if you Guard Impact with, this move does a lethal hit.
Is that a new lethal hit condition?
Yeah, on whiff,
okay.
on whiffing GI. So now when Kilix does his auto GI option, if you do reversal edge and if he does that, you won't reach him. If you do GI, if he delays that, you will get lethal hit. And if you does nothing and you stay in guard, he can mix this low attack with his other mid attack, which is Monument B. And both will be invisible. It will be a 50-50 between a knockdown and the middle, which will give you 70 damage, because Azra will be combo with Monument B.
That actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, that seems very cool, but I'm not sure how much this move will escape reversal edge. It only depends on the range and the range of the reversal edge of the enemy. Like versus Siegfried, it works very well because his reversal edge is pretty short.
Yeah, true.
But I guess versus some other characters, it won't work. So yeah, this move is great. So I can say they solved a lot of problems on Killik in this patch.
I can kind of tell that you're really happy with what they've done with him. Obviously, you'd like a few new things, a few better things, but I think we all would for our characters. But it kind of seems like both of you are fairly happy with what you've been given so far.
I'm very happy with what I've been given. Very happy.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy, but the weird part is that we are very happy, but when we see what Ivy's, Azelman, and Mike,
we won't mention those just yet.
It's
yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's Christmas, but the other people get rich, you know.
They get Christmas, New Year's, and it's their birthday, and we just get Christmas. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And they got very crazy stuff. Like most of Killik changes solve situational problems.
Mm-hmm.
But what Mina, Zazalamel, and Ivy got are very spammable situation.
Yeah, very
Like
unneeded.
in every combo, Ivy will be able to do a mix-up, deadly mix-up. Zazamel in nearly every combo will be able to turn and do a very damaging combo with his BTK back turn kick bug. And Mina in every combo now can crush your guard or mix up you by crushing you. So their buffs might be more impacting the game.
For sure.
I mean, their buff.
So just before we move on to the next two questions, I just want to say we will be taking questions from viewers to our guests. So if you have any questions, I've already got two that have already been asked from the chat. But if you have any, please leave them in the chat and I will type them down. And after we have finished this section, we'll move on to the questions from the viewers and then we'll ask those questions. So next question is your character stronger or weaker compared to Season 1? Start off with Ssylus.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's definitely much stronger. The nerfs, his reversal edge nerf and prep is decent. It's definitely nerfed him a little bit there, but for the most part, I think he's definitely been buffed for Season 2. I think he'll square up pretty well to all the cast.
And how about you, Hayate?
I just want to first say that I think every character is better because adding like 5 or 10 moves gives you more possibility, more things, more combo, etc. So I guess most of characters are better, but in terms of balance, for sure, with Killik, he's way better than in Season 1. So let's see if he can stand up versus the tops or the top 10 character. But for sure, he's way better and he's strongly. I don't know. I cannot do a tier list now, but he might be. He's way better, and there is less opportunity to abuse his life decay. So yeah, he's very, very, very good now.
Yeah, clear, concise answers. I think most people would agree that their characters have been improved from Season 1, apart from the whole nightmare debacle that we seem to be seeing on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think 99% of the players are happy with the changes so far. But happy with the changes to their characters, I should say, not with everything in general. So the final question that I'm going to ask in this segment is, how do you think your character will hold up to the rest of the cast in Season 2? So like I said before, I don't necessarily want you to make a tier list on the spot, but just in relation to the rest of the cast, how do you think they'll fare throughout the rest of Season 2?
Well, to be honest, I think Raf's got very few matchups that don't favour him, to be honest. Like, on a wall stage, Raf versus Aswell, I think Raphael wins if it's all walls. But if there's ring outs and walls, it's slightly towards Aswell's advantage, definitely. But as for the rest of the cast, I don't think he's going to have too many problems. Maybe Sophie, maybe her buffs are really quite, and she's got her stab for counter and prep and that.
Yeah.
So I would say Sophie and Asriel are really the only ones that I'm kind of thinking that Raph will struggle. But the rest, I don't think he has that many problems.
Okay. Bold words. Potentially putting Raph at like top 3, but...
This is my opinion, remember, but...
Yeah, exactly, I know. No.
Yeah, Raph's top 5, I'm saying. Raph's top 5.
You heard it here first, guys. Raph top 5 Season 2. You heard it here. If Ssylus is wrong, you can all go unfollow him on Twitter or something.
Oh, no, don't do that.
And I'd say, how about you and your beloved Killik?
So I guess he will be his Soul Charge game, of course, is very buffed, and then in all matchups where people can try to push back him, he will be way better. So especially versus Ivy, versus Astaroth in some way. So I will talk more about his normal game without the Soul Charge. So there is few things that might change a little. I know that they buffed a lot of character, and they didn't. They buffed more than they nerfed. And something that I don't really like is when they make a move unsafe, buying less unsafe or safe, because it impacts defensive characters, punishers, basically. And I think defensive characters in this game are Xianghua, Raphael, Kilik, Taki, Sophitia. Not sure for Cassandra, but those characters have really good punishing tools and defensive tools like Auto GI or etc.
Yeah.
And I guess I've seen some changes where a character now will not be hit by Kilik's B6 Lethalite, which is a 920 punisher. It Lethalite only on minus 20 attacks.
Okay.
So I guess there will be less opportunity. But yeah, it's in most cases, Kilik will be doing better than in season 1, for sure. In general.
Sure. So, against the rest of the cast, you kind of feel like he will still struggle more than he should do. But with the buffs that he has got, he'll perform better in general.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't check every new moves yet. So, for example, Mitsurugi seems very strong in Shura Blade. So I don't know exactly how it will impact the matchup. But I would say he seems. It's very hard question because every character seems improved. But in other way, maybe they will be able to do some new things that they weren't be able to do before. So I don't know. Maybe some characters now have options to get in more easily versus Kilik's defense. I don't know. So I would say he will be better versus very long range character for sure, like Ivy. Sometimes Astaroth with some very long range attack.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, I can say versus those matchups, he has now his projectile, etc. So he has really good tool. But for others, I cannot say. Like Maxi is generally a good matchup for Kilik. But Maxi has got so much new tools.
Oh, he does. And they're really fun to use as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if Kilik defense will stand against. And I didn't have time to check Talim. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a very hard question.
Yeah. And I think we're not very far into it either. So I think purposefully we wanted to get the kind of initial reactions, and as we do more of these podcasts and we get deeper into season 2 and possibly even maybe some patches in a week or so, answers will change and opinions will shift. But I think generally, like you guys were saying before, characters have become better, but compared to the rest of the cast that have been buffed even more, who knows? It's still really a big question at this point.
Yeah, it's the most important question for the 2 next week.
100%. So, thank you very much for answering those 2 segments. We're now going to move on to our final segment, which is our viewer questions. So like I said, if you have any questions for the guests, please put them in the chat. I'll type them out on our little document and I will ask them. We don't have many so far, so if you do have them, I encourage you to ask them so we can get as much information out of these two before we have to let them go. But without further ado, let's move on to the first question, and it's from Angel Stepstyle. Who do you think will be the top 3 characters of Season 2? So based on right now, who are the top 3 characters of Season 2?
Azrael, Ivy, Siegfried, definitely.
Solid 3 picks there. Ivy, well, so always Azrael, Ivy, and Siegfried.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call. And how about you, Hayate? Top 3 for you.
Ivy for sure. Mina for sure. Like I've seen Jason plays versus some French players, and it's literally horrifying. Like really, it's horrifying. It's dumb and it's horrifying. Like in every combo, you guess between breaking your guard again, or just getting hit again and launching. It's crazy. So I guess these two, and I'm not sure for the third. So not sure if Ssylus or Siegfried or Raphael, or I don't know yet exactly the.
Yeah, there's quite a few characters that got buffed and didn't really need.
Okay, so for excuse me, so for Ssylus, it's Azrael, Ivy, Siegfried, and for Hayate, if you could just remind us again who you said your top 2 were.
It's Ivy and Mina for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would say there's element for the 3.
Sure.
But I'm less sure about him.
Okay. Well, as previously stated, I'm sure we'll learn more in the coming weeks.
That's just our first impression by just seeing the stuff.
Yeah,
recently discovered.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The next one. Does the SC scene need more content creators? And this is from All Into Space. I mean, I have an answer for this question, but obviously it's for these two. So, Ssylus, let us know.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I think there should be way more content creators for Soulcalibur, for sure. Because I mean, there's good ones for now, but we definitely need more.
Mm-hmm.
We need the scene to grow. We need it to get as big as possible. I want a season 3.
I mean, so don't we all? And how about you, Hayate?
So that's a subject I talk at some time on Twitter. I think Soulcalibur has a problem because the community is, I mean, it's not big, very big. It's kind of just rebirth. It's a rebirth community. Like it was very small and it's growing. The problem is when you do some content and when you compare the stats of those contents with the big other games, you just realize that it's better to do content to other games because you will have maybe 10 times more viewers or something like this. But the problem is if you want that Soulcalibur community to grow, the best way is to do content. Even if you don't have a lot of views, the best way is to do content, because if you do content, you're creating some visibility for the game outside of your bubble, like outside of your community.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
And then people knows about the game and people start playing the game, and then you have more players, and then you have more and more and more, and then your content start doing a lot of views. So I just want to say, yes, we need more content, and people has to accept that there is a good thing and a bad thing about this. The bad thing is that it's a small community, so you won't have a lot of views. But the good thing is that there isn't a lot of content creators. So you can take an opportunity. You can easily create something that nobody has done yet. You can take a big place in this community. So maybe you will learn something just by experiencing this. So I really hope more people will create content, and I have really hard time doing it because I'm really taking this game very seriously, competitively, and it's very hard to spend 2 days or 1 day to do a video content, for example, when you have so much to learn and the lab extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely we need this, and it's I guess it's the best way to make Soulcalibur grow, to make more. If you want more tournament, if you want more DLC, if you want more Soulcalibur, if you want more, we need more content. And we need more Twitch streamers. We need more YouTube videos. We need more Twitter sharing stuff extra.
100% agreed. I will always echo that sentiment, and it's partly the reason why I approached SCEU and SCUK, because we just need more content. The US and the JP community have a fair bit, and not so much for the EU community. I think the French are the biggest ones pushing out the most content, followed by the Russians, and then followed by the UK and the rest of Europe. So I really actually think us doing this kind of thing. So yes, tournaments are great. Yes, first to fives and first to tens are great. But we also need more interesting content, things that people want to come and see and come and watch. So if you guys continue to support this type of content, we can then expand and hopefully create more stuff that you guys want to watch and listen to and stuff like that. So a resounding yes for that question, I think. I think if there is a person who says we actually don't need more content, we need to get rid of them from the community. Just outcast them, get rid of them. Next question. This is to Hayate from Eyelash Wish. Hayate, what's with the lizard men?
Oh. I'm just doing a lot of lizardman because I really like the character. I really hope he will be back. I think he's very important to the story. He's fun, and so I'm just pushing everywhere Lizardman and Huang, of course.
Of course, naturally.
I really hope both characters will be in season 3 maybe, at least, or even in season 2. But I think it would be bad if we lost those two characters. I mean, the Swordman playstyle and the Lizardman archetype. Both two characters are very important.
Yeah, I agree with Eon. I think he's a really cool character, but I would have to publicly. I'm going to disagree with Hayate here. I think Yun deserves a spot more than Huang, personally.
That's not. I guess both can have a spot because they had a different moveset in Soulcalibur 3 Arcade Edition, and I don't know. I will be happy if there is Yun, and I will be more happy if there is Huang. But let's see. We might get both because in Soulcalibur 3 we had both in Arcade Edition.
True, that's very true.
But yeah, Yonsung is more about flashy and kicks, and Wang is more about deadly strike. So
yeah,
we'll see.
The way that I kind of put it is Yun is Maxi with a sword, and if we have more of Maxi. More of that attitude, I think it's just it's good for that. Good.
The only thing I don't like about Yun is he's too young and too cocky.
You like your warriors a little bit older and a little bit more steadfast.
Yeah, but I played Yun a lot on Soulcalibur 2, so it's okay. It's just for the trolling part. Sure. I will troll people with him.
So confirmed, Hayate wants Yun for season 2.
I'm okay for Yun.
Sure. So next question comes from Baddie, and it's again to Hayate. How did you get into content creation in the first place?
S- um, um, I started content creating before Soulcalibur 6 get announced, like maybe 1 year or 2 year before,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a graphic designer in my job. I mean, I was, because now I'm more working on mobile application.
Oh wow.
But so I did have some skills to create. I just wanted to experiment video creation, etc. So I started doing this on Tekken, and when I heard about the Soulcalibur, then I literally jumped, and I've done it full time until the game released. And when the game released, I started to play it a lot more competitively. So I have a lot of less time doing content, but I really want to do it. It's very hard for me every day to choose between doing content or playing the game.
Yeah, I do have to say when Soul Calibur 6 came out, or was announced rather, I looked to a lot of your videos to kind of refresh myself on how characters are going to be played. So yeah, I would have to really say is thank you, because without those videos, I probably would have been a lot more scared to just jump into ranked day 1, day 2. So yeah, just thank you very much for actually jumping on that content creation hype, Hayate.
Thanks, man. And I just want to say, if anybody has ideas about season 2 and wants to do some project with me, just ask me and we can discuss about it. It can be anything, character guide or fun things, like anything.
Yeah, and I think that's important as well, because while kind of my personal content creation journey, I guess in quotation marks, has basically been confined to Twitch for now, in terms of just doing streams of me doing ranked, it's important to ask people to do things with you, because as much as you may be an incredible person to watch and to listen to, you'll always be 10 times better with somebody who can match that. So I would definitely recommend asking friends, and even if you have family who play, to just help you out with content creation and just start doing it, because the more that we get out there, even if it's bad to start with, you can always improve. And if people come along and see mediocre content evolve into amazing content, people are going to come just based on that content. As Hayate said earlier, they'll watch your stuff, don't want to play the game, we get more people. It's just a big cycle that we want to keep perpetuating with people coming to play the game. So, next question is from Unicorn CZ. I'm going to rephrase this question a little bit. We've had a lot of complaints from Nightmare players regarding Season 2. Do you think the complaints that we're seeing are justified complaints, or are they more just knee-jerk reactions to the changes?
Some of the stuff I would say is kind of like useless most of the time. Like I was speaking to Zero the other day, and he mentioned that like his soul attack, like when they previewed it, it bounced him off the ground into the air. But when he actually got on and tested it on the game, it gives him a knockdown, but he can't get anything off it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't get any combo off of his soul attack. He's just in soul charge, and he can't get anything off it apparently. And like his new moves, like his some of his new Grim Strike moves, like they whiff against a wall. So I think some of the stuff is justified, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Hayate?
It seems justified only because if you compare to some of the other characters that got very, very improved, It seems nightmare for now because we cannot. Maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks we will find maybe nightmares. Players will find new way to use something. But yeah, might be justified. But there is something that is I think it's hurting a little the community because I know the community from more than 20 years. I mean, I know the community for 20 years, 20 years basically. But when we all started to share stuff and regroup in Discord, something that I don't really like is that people are very quick to sharing her emotions, negative or positive emotions. And when you are in a Discord with the same, like you are in a character Discord, everybody is playing the same character, everybody is the same in the same boat, everybody has the same interest about the character, everybody wants buff. You are in a sort of a bubble, and when everybody starts to spread, maybe complain or extra, it might sometime become too exaggerate or need some maybe patience. I wouldn't say it's not justified, but yeah, the only bad thing I've seen is that it's people are getting too quickly angered. Like some people will say, okay, I just stop the game today. Like let the game live a little. Let the game be patched maybe in 1 week or in 2 weeks. I don't know. For sure, there might be big wrong things in the game, but yeah, let some time. Don't jump on your Discord and spread the first thing you see. For example, one of the things that I really don't like it is I remember when 2B gets released, a lot of 2B players were complaining about her being very weak to Reversal Edge.
Yeah.
And they needed like 1 month or 2 months to understand that she has a really strong option versus Reversal Edge, and she's doing like 80 damage when somebody is trying a Reversal Edge and she guessed it correctly. So yeah, let some time, because maybe there is a thing in 1 month. Let at least 1 month, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I echo that sentiment as well. I confess yesterday I had a moment where I felt exactly like that I just wanted to give up, but you can't. Like the patch has just dropped, the new season has just dropped. Give them time to sort things out.
Yeah, obviously there's always going to be problems when the game gets patched like this, especially when there's like new moves coming into it as well. There's always going to be bugs. There's going to be some broken stuff. Just need to give it time to get fixed.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree.
Yeah, and also I just want to give this message for the players who are complaining. I'm also thinking that this complaining is just a reflection of people's who get overhyped, or people's who just share stuff like, oh, it's broken, look at this extra. So it's the same thing. Like in one part you have people who are just overreacting to something, and the other part you have people who are jealous of this, or who are complaining because their character didn't get something like this. So I guess it's because of internet and because of Discord and because of we are all really more connected. But we have to be careful on not exaggerating things. We have to wait a little. And I will finish with one sentence. Will be, just look at what Skill does. Skill is a player who don't care about all the things. He will just go play and he's just here not for winning. He's just here because he wants to improve. So, and I guess it's the best mentality. Yeah, like don't look other characters, just play, just try to be better, and maybe in one patch or two, this will pay a lot because other person will maybe stop or maybe will change character, but you will still improve. So yeah, try to not be affected a lot by all these things.
Exactly. Next question. Again for Hayate from Karaoke. As someone who has been in the SC community for so long, what would you say is the lowest point of the series?
Soulcalibur 5.
Yeah, I think we all saw that
For
one
sure.
coming. Soulcalibur 5 was not a very good game.
I mean, I played the game 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 3. Yeah, I played the game. I mean, competitively, I played 3 months. Then I restarted playing the game like 2 days and then stopped it again for 3 months. But this game was bad. It was bad.
Pretty much.
I remember, I don't know if people knows, but I've got the game 2 months before it's released, because I've done the official guide of the game. So I was having the game 2 months before, and when they said to me that this was the last version of the game, I said, no, it's not possible. Like, where are the characters? Where are the moves? What is this shit? Call it clean hit. What's this shit? Like, it's you're doing more damage because it's Christmas? Like, what's the deal with it? Like, and what about that story mode? Like, okay, you have cute saying, you have, okay, it's good, but where are the other characters? Like, I'm Yoshimitsu fan, okay, but where is Yoshimitsu in that story mode? Like, yeah, there was so wrong things about this game.
Yeah,
but they did some great things. Like, they tried something new. So I will not condemn them for that. But
true,
yeah, this was so bad. So after that, the community got really, really bad, because I mean there were less players, so it was very hard to continue playing the game with so few players.
That is true. That is very true. Well, thank you for that very candid opinion on Soulcalibur 5, which I'm sure, to be honest, a lot of people share.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of good things about Soulcalibur 5. I just trying to remember the bad things.
Of course, yeah.
And there was a lot.
There certainly were. Next question. This is from Baddie again. Best waifu, any franchise, go.
Hilda.
Back to Hilda.
Soulcalibur 5. Hilda. Yeah.
Pretty standard one there for Ssylus. Saw that one coming a mile away.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Hayate?
In any Soulcalibur?
Any franchise, best waifu.
Oh, any franchise, like any games?
Yeah, or movies or books, whatever.
Oh, I will stay in games.
Yeah.
So, it's a hard one. It will be either Taki or Hayane from Dead or Alive.
Ah, okay. I think a lot of people would agree with you when you say Taki. She is a great waifu, to be honest.
Oh yeah, she's a great wife.
Just have a great wife. Let me marry her immediately. Wait. Next one. This is from Blade of Flame. What was your biggest learning curve when adjusting to the new mechanics of Soulcalibur 6?
The reverse ledge. That took me a long time to get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say Raphael's eye prep, like that took me a while to get used to as well.
So well, I say only, but Reverse Ledge and iPrep were the biggest kind of hurdles that you had to overcome.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like 99% of RAF stuff is iPrep combos, and if you don't get the iPrep combos, then you're not going to get much damage with them.
Yeah, makes sense, especially playing RAF. And yourself, Hayate?
The Reversal Edge, I was okay with that. When I started playing the game, I quickly understand how to deal with it, and Kilika is a good tool to not buying code in Reversal Edge.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't too much annoying, but I guess one thing that annoyed me a lot at the start of the game, because last time I really played Soulcalibur competitively was at Soulcalibur 4, because in Soulcalibur 5 I only played 2 months and I played Zwei. So but in Soulcalibur 4, I remember that the neutral of the game was pretty honest. And in Soulcalibur 6, something that annoyed me quickly is I couldn't force people to just stay in front of me and guarding. Like, they're always trying to sidestep.
Mm-hmm.
The hit stun of my moves were not very good, and generally in Soulcalibur 6, the movement has really been increased. So that's something that annoyed me for maybe 1 month or 2 months. It was, everybody was sidestepping or GIing, and it was just a guessing game between, okay, now he's got hit, what he will try to do because he don't want to guard for sure. So, and that's quite, I think it's still like this. The game is very comeback oriented, but now I'm get used to it. And the second thing is killing soul charge. Like,
Yeah.
I was really frustrated. I was really frustrated by soul charge. Like, I remember 1 month I played only without soul charge, and I was having a lot of fun. But every time I go,
for the first time and everything took a dive.
Every time I go, like when you go in soul charge with Kilik, it's okay. You come back, it's nice. But if things goes wrong, it goes very, very wrong. Like, you kill yourself.
Pretty much. Okay.
And I guess that's all.
So nothing else in regards to SE6? Because I think in a lot of ways it's very similar to some of the older games, especially like Soulcalibur 2. Like, the movement is very similar to Soulcalibur 2. So it's not like if you had played that game, that everything that kind of stuff was different. But I think generally Reversal Edge was more of a what is this thing mechanic for a lot of people, for a lot of SC veterans at least.
I mean, in Soulcalibur 1 and 2, the movement was great, but I don't know, there was maybe less reward, or maybe there was less comeback mechanic.
Oh, there was definitely less comeback mechanics for sure.
But something was doing good in the balance between, okay, I'm having the lead of the game and I'm trying to keep it. In Soulcalibur 6, it's very hard, and the damage, the risk reward in Soulcalibur 6 can become very crazy in Soul Charge. Like, characters have half-life combos without taking any risk, or even Blockstone. It's it's crazy. It's really an offensive and aggressive game.
Yeah, very, very true. Very true. Next question comes from Baddie again. If Soulcalibur 7 ever comes out, would you like to see them expand on the current gameplay, maybe different gameplay, or stripped down on mechanics?
I'd say keep it the way it is. I don't really I like the way Soulcalibur works, like especially Soulcalibur 6 with the movement and that. I like that. I wouldn't like that to change ever, to be honest.
So you'd pretty much keep it the same. But is there anything that you would change at all, or would you just kind of say make Soulcalibur 6 2?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Nice and succinct. And what about you, Hayate? What would you like them to do if they ever released a Soulcalibur 7?
First thing is that if they announce Soulcalibur 7, I will be here to ask Wang.
You'll be the one handing around that petition immediately, day one.
Yeah. Especially if he's not in Soulcalibur 6. And
they're just keeping him for Soulcalibur 7, Hayate. That's all they're doing. They're just going to make you wait.
Yeah, they just want me to die before they release the character. But in terms of mechanics, I really want more stage interaction.
Yeah, I think I'd love more stage interaction.
I know that they kind of do that they kind of did that in Soulcalibur 4, with some part of walls failing, and in Soulcalibur 5 also.
Mm-hmm.
But I want more deep stage interaction, like having a stun effect because you throw somebody on a pillars, something like this. And in general, mechanics make the game less oppressive, less aggressive. And yeah, I have one thing. So I don't want people to get mad about me, but so when Soulcalibur, before Soulcalibur, I guess it was right after Soulcalibur 5 got released, we had some poll about the game, and we have to feel some what I want for the next game, etc. And and I asked it something. So I was originally asking a very old mechanic from Soul Blade, which was the clashing mechanic, which was basically when you have two opponents doing the same attack at the same time, you have to choose between A, B, and K. But I guess those guys didn't understand, and they did reversal edge.
They did reversal edge instead, yeah. Oh, man. So reversal edge is Hayate's fault. We can all blame him for reversal edge.
Maybe. I don't know if I have done something about this, but yeah, reversal edge might be something behind that clashing system. But something that I don't like in this game is the clashing mechanic. I don't really like it, and I would prefer something with two characters, like having a big clash and having to choose a button. I would prefer. I really like that in Soul Blade, but I don't like reversal edge. So remove reversal edge and put the Soul Blade clashing mechanic.
I kind of feel somewhat similar, to be quite honest. Like I feel like it could work really well, like in single player games. Like if you press a button at the same time as an enemy, and you go into a clash mechanic and you have to mash a button really hard. It's in Sam Show 2019. It's in Samurai Showdown, the latest one. Like if you both press the same button at the same time, it will go into a clash mechanic, and then whoever wins gets the advantage to get a heavy hit off. And I really feel like that would be a much better mechanic. Like you probably wouldn't be able to lead into crazy combos if you won, but it would be a nice little addition. So, you could what's the word? You could condition people a lot more rather than just pressing one button and going into a rock, paper, scissors situation. You could stop people just mashing AA, because if you can mash the square button faster, you'll always win that exchange.
Yeah. It's interesting that you talk about Samurai Showdown, because in Soul Blade there was another mechanic that was very similar to Samurai Showdown mechanics, which was
weapon breaking.
You lose your weapon. And that's something interesting in a weapon-based fighting game, because you can lose your weapon and you have to to take it again. But the problem is it might be too unbalanced when you lose your weapon.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe
for sure.
maybe because of that, they didn't keep doing this.
So we'll just put the clash mechanic back in. We'll take RE out, and everybody's happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Moving on. So this is from Brandstar. This is a question that was asked a while ago when we were talking about content creation. But any tips for content creators looking to get started? I mean, Ssylus, I don't actually know if you make any content.
No, I don't really make any content, to be honest.
No, okay, cool.
Well, he did.
Fair
He
enough.
did some. I think Ssylus did some good content about Raphael. I've seen some combos and tech trap videos.
Yeah, it's just cool stuff that I post on Twitter.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, that's all content
But I think
creation.
it's great.
Because, yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's
Like,
great.
if it comes
Yeah.
from a player who knows what they're talking about, and if somebody happens along the Soulcalibur portion of Twitter and sees your tweet there and go, "Oh, that character looks really cool," they might look into it further and buy the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's still classed as content creation.
I guess that might be the answer of that question.
Just do it.
My best advice will be when you're doing content, don't try to make it perfect or try to be the best video or exactly. Just make content and don't fear about doing poor quality content extra. There is no poor quality content. There is different viewers who will love different contents. So a question that some friends ask me when they want to start streaming, for example, they ask me, they say, I cannot do content because I will not interact. I will not do good matches, and people will get bored extra. And I've said, man, sometimes I do very good match, and sometimes I didn't interact. It doesn't change a lot. Like the important thing is doing content, and then you try to improve.
Yes.
But don't fear doing bad content. I don't think there is bad content.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of the question of art is subjective, right? So whatever you think about content creation, it is a form of art because you're putting time and effort into creating something that you want people to like. People will dislike it inherently because there are people who are just like that in the world, but don't be discouraged because you think your thing is worse than somebody else's thing, because there will be an audience for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So just personally, just do it. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Get like a piece of recording software. Go into, I don't know, like MS Paint, or get like a free trial of Adobe Photoshop and make a logo, or find yourself an editor, or do something and just start making stuff. Because the more people that start making stuff, it'll be great.
Yeah, and the second most important thing is let you time and do it regularly, so you will find your audience.
Exactly.
Like don't just do 1 time and 2 time and say, okay, it's not for me. I just have 3 viewers or 1 viewers, or my video did just 20 views. No, just let you some time. And if you do something very new or something that isn't very very seen actually, just let the time that people knows about you and promote your content. It's very important.
Exactly. So, the next question. If you play SE6 on multiple platforms, how does the performance of the game on the respective platform affect your play, if it does at all? And that's from Blade of Flame again. I think Ssylus is probably the most equipped to answer this question.
Yeah. Online wise, yes, there's a huge difference. I drop iPrep combos on PlayStation Online now. It's just so hard to do. The delays is so different compared to PC online. But for offline, there's not that much of a difference. I mean, I need like an extra 20 minutes to warm up on a PlayStation offline to get used to the buffering and that.
Yeah.
But online, yes. Offline, not really.
Yeah, I think I can kind of echo that sentiment, especially coming from playing Soulcalibur on consoles and then buying it on PC when it came out for Soulcalibur 6.
Mhm.
You could definitely feel the difference with the delay and stuff. And you, Hayate?
Uh, if you just want to play the game casually, it's okay on both platform. But if you want to play it more seriously, I guess it's better to have on PC because you have generally better connection opponent, and you can have the frame data overlay extra. But the only problem is even if you have it on PC or PS4, when you go in tournament, you still have some difference between timing. So there is no really solution about that. It's if you do tournaments and you also play online, yeah, play on PC.
There you go. Second to last question. How do Ssylus and Hayate feel about guest characters in fighting games?
I think it's great. I love the idea of bringing in other characters from other. I've always loved it.
Who's been your favourite guest character? Just to kind of expand on that question a little bit.
To be honest, I mean,
Oh,
see, at first,
get out.
at first, I did not like her, but see now, like, I actually bought her and played her and messed about with her. She's actually really fun,
Oh,
like,
God.
really, really fun to play.
No, yeah, she is fun to play. Like cards on the table, she is really fun to play.
Oh,
It's just quite annoying.
yeah.
And Hayate?
I don't like Guess character originally, like because I think they are breaking some coherence design. Sometimes it's hard to explain why they are here, etc. And that's something matter for me, but maybe it's just me. But the good thing is that they are appealing to a lot of new players. So overall, it's very important to have a quest character because when you look at Tekken 7, I remember when I started to play Tekken 7 when it comes out, the game did pretty well at launch, but it really becomes crazy when they started to announce Quest character like Geese, etc., and then Negan, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And now Tekken 7, it seems to me, has grown like 2 times or maybe 3 times. The Tekken community seems to be 3 times bigger than at the launch time.
Oh,
So,
definitely seems to be much bigger.
So I think the announcements around those quest characters have done this, and I can see that it's helping fighting games to be bigger, and more people, more love, more viewers, more tournaments, more etc. So I guess it's overall it's great. We need
Cool.
more Grace character, even if I don't like them.
Well, I can kind of understand where you're coming from in terms of the whole. You really like a lore reason why they're in the game, but you also accept that they're good for the health of the game and the population.
Yeah, for sure.
And the final question from Habaduba is, do you think that damage is well designed? Should people die slower or faster? Should pokes deal more damage, or should launchers deal more damage? It's a very loaded question. There's a lot of facets to it. But just so we don't run too long, generally, how do you feel about the damage in this game?
I love the damage in this game. I think spread out for the most part, but obviously there's some characters that get ridiculous combos. But for the most part, I think it's pretty well balanced out damage-wise.
In terms of, just to just expand on it, like combo damage as well, you think combo damage is fine? Like generally, there's no real scaling that needs to be done.
Well, I would say like something was like, I don't like the whole, like, depending on what move you guard crush with, like how much your combo scales afterwards. Like, I don't like that, because like you have to break with specific moves and all that, and it really limits you. But apart from that, I think most characters' combos are like well spread out damage wise, and that, like, they don't do too much, don't do too. But again, it's personal preference.
Just right in that sweet spot for you, Ssylus, eh?
Yeah.
And Hayate, your take on the damage?
I hate it. I really hate the damage. I really. It's one of my biggest. It's one of my biggest complaints when the game released. Damage was too high. I mean, I understand that in terms of viewers, in terms of the show, etc., it's very nice to watch. But the damage is too crazy, becomes crazy. And something that I hate the most is the combo system, because Soulcalibur originally is a game with small combos. Like in Soulcalibur 1, you have a launcher and you have 2 attack and it's over.
Yeah, very true.
In Soulcalibur 2, it's kind of like this. In Soulcalibur 3, they introduced the chain stun system to try to extend combos. In Soulcalibur 4, they kept that, but they added damage scaling. So basically, the game was okay. In Soulcalibur 6, the damage are too big, and it becomes ridiculous when they are scaling. Like, you will do a launcher, you will do one move, and then your damage does 1 or 2 damage. It's ridiculous, and it created a big issue in season 1, because the more they tried to extend combos to make some combos flashy, the more they had ring out problems. Because the more the combos are longer, the more sometimes your character will carry out until ring out. And they had to adjust that by making combos turn around, like they did for Xianghua and Tubi.
Yeah.
And again, it's ridiculous.
I can understand.
I mean, in my point of view, because I started at Soulcalibur 1 competitively, it seems ridiculous. But overall, you get used to it. But I guess they will tone down the damage. I mean, at least 20% might be good.
Yeah. Personally, I think the damage for the most part is okay, but I would agree that some of it needs to be toned down, especially some combo damage and some certain characters' wall damage, not naming any names, may need to be a little bit toned down, but generally I would agree that the damage is okay. So that brings us to the end of Soulcast episode 2. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a great session. I want to thank our guests, Ssylus and Hayate. If you want to plug anything, now's your chance. Ssylus, anything you want to plug?
Not really. Just shout outs to Andy Boy, my training partner, Andrew, and Bully Cat.
Big shouts to those two. They are also just big pillars of the Soulcalibur community. Legends.
Actually, legends. Yeah.
Legends. And Hayate, yourself, anything you'd like to plug? Twitch, Twitter, YouTube?
I just want to say, for people who want to start content creating, just if you fear starting, if you don't know something, if you want to ask something, just ask me on Discord, on Twitter, if I can help you, because I really think it's important to create content, and I really want to help people doing it. Even if I don't have time doing myself a lot of content, I really want to help people doing content. And I create new events, online events. We have a pretty decent online game. So yeah, create events, create not necessarily tournaments. Like in France, we did create team battle events, for example. You can do like in US, they did a cosplay event, like something like the creation tournament event. Just create event, just create content, and ask me if you want help, and that's all.
Sure. Again, I'd like to just echo that sentiment. I'm obviously working with Soulcalibur EU, and I'm working with Soulcalibur UK as well. Hosting first to tens on my personal channel and on the Soulcalibur UK YouTube channel. Obviously this podcast, but also the tournaments on Sunday. It's every Sunday up until the 22nd of December, 3 p.m. CET. That's 3 p.m. Central European Time, I believe that acronym stands for. I won't be commentating every Sunday, but I am commentating this Sunday with, I hope, Zubaz, but I'm not sure. But yes, again, I just want to say, if you want to create content for the Soulcalibur community, do it. Because we just need more. And if there's something that you want to bring to Soulcalibur EU, Soulcalibur UK, or Soulcalibur France, Russia, whatever your local community is, or you want to take it international, just don't be afraid to approach somebody, because more than likely they're going to be willing to help. And just personally for me, if you want to come and watch my Twitch streams and stuff like that, twitch.tv/Danarai, and my Twitter is /Danarai Twitch. Follow me. Mostly post about Soulcalibur, but also some live stuff. And yeah, exactly what Baddy is saying. Just reach out to other content creators. If you know somebody, or if you see something that you like on YouTube, send them a message on Twitter or on YouTube and say, hey, I love your stuff. I want to do something. Let's collab. And as usual, I just want to say again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to our hosts. And if you have any suggestions for the podcast, please let us know, because we want to make this as best as we can for you. So hit us up on Twitter on Soulcalibur EU. Just search that on Twitter, or I think it's EU Soulcalibur on Twitter. Send us a DM there or at us on there. Join the Soulcalibur EU Discords and just give us some feedback. Even if you don't want to suggest anything, just let us know how we did, because it's always valuable. But once again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to Ssylus.
No problem, man.
And thank you to Hayate.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure.
And I will personally see you on Sunday, but the next podcast will be again on Friday at 8 p.m. CET. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
See ya.